So Easter's coming up, and since I've got a YouTube channel, I can talk about anything I want on it. So I'm going to talk about Easter. And I was trying to remember the name of the town, but maybe it'll come to me, maybe it won't. So probably, it's got to be 16 or 17 years ago, we were starting a bunch of colts for Darwin Dietz on his farm there in Yates Center, Kansas. And Darwin and his wife were very religious people. And Darwin, he was a funny guy. I won't get into that much. But anyhow, they invited us to Easter dinner, my wife and I. They invited us to Easter dinner and had a big to-do and this and that. And then afterwards, they gave us this really nice gift. And it was kind of an ironic gift because it was really, really nice patio furniture. And the funny thing about that is we lived in a living quarters trailer at the time, so we didn't really have a patio. But we did have the awning out and stay sitting outside a lot, so I guess it kind of made sense. But he gave us this really nice gift, and we had that furniture for a long, long time. And the thing of it is I wasn't used to getting gifts for Easter, and partially because of that, and partially because I didn't have anything to give back. You know, I was pretty embarrassed about it, and I said, "Oh, geez, Darwin, you didn't have to do this." I said, "It's not like it's Christmas." And he looked at me and he says, "If it wasn't for Easter, nobody'd care about Christmas." And I thought, "Oh, you're right. That makes a lot of sense." And so ever since then, Easter's been a lot bigger deal to all of us. It's my favorite holiday. So today's Monday. I wanted to do this yesterday on Palm Sunday, but we didn't get a chance to do it. But I want to kind of, before I finish off there, this is one of the things that's always tickled me about this week. So on Palm Sunday, there's something happens there that I haven't ever heard. I haven't ever heard any preachers or ministers put as much credence into as I think it belongs. And they talk about all the people and how everybody was praising Jesus, you know, Hosanna in the highest and so on and so forth. But the part that they all miss, and I'll just give you a quick rundown of the story in case y'all don't know it. Jesus tells the boys, go down the road a piece there and there'll be an unbroke donkey, and bring him to me. And if somebody says anything, tell them don't worry about it. And so they bring him the unbroke donkey, and he gets on it and rides into over 100,000 people, throwing their robes on the ground in front of him and waving palm fronds and everything. And so the part about that I don't think anybody's given enough credence to ever is that that's a miracle in and of itself. He's putting the first ride on a donkey, going through town with everybody waving palm fronds at him. So with that in mind, I want to tell you about the first time I read that story. I was a teenager, and I was looking for ways to poke holes in the whole deal. And unfortunately, the first time I read it was in the King James Version, so I didn't understand hardly a word of it. And by the time I got to that story, I was so fed up with the thous and the thys and the theins and the so forth and all that business that I really couldn't understand what the heck was going on at all. And it got to that story, and it says, and Jesus rode into town on an ass. And I read, Jesus rode into town on his ass, and I thought to myself, well, of course he rode into town on his ass. That's the only way you can ride anything. So I got a laugh out of that. But then the next time I read it in regular English, and that's when it all occurred to me that, oh, Jesus was a bronc twister. I can get along with this guy. I can kind of go with some of this. And so, like I said, a lot of people don't put as much credence into that story as I think they should. The fact that he's the only person in the world that could have done that. And I'll give one more little deal before I go on. Right before the high school national finals my senior year, we had buck and stock at the house and shoots and everything. And so the four best bull riders from our state, the state of Oregon, we all spent a couple of days there bucking out bulls and bucking out horses and getting ready for the finals. And we had a little burro go there, and I don't know how somehow we decided we were going to ride him, just because that's what we did, is ride stuff. And so all 4 of us tried all one afternoon to ride this little son of a gun, and not a single one of us could get him twisted. And there was no palm fronds and nobody throwing their robes at him or anything else. He just bucked us off. So to me, that's a heck of a story that Jesus rode into town like that on an unbroke ass. Anyway, to the whole point of my story, or the whole point of my rambling, is I'd like to give you guys from Patreon and you guys from YouTube as well, I'd like to give you a gift for Easter, because you guys watching and supporting have done a lot for me and my family. And so here a little bit back, we had some sweaters made, and they've got the Horsemanship as an Art logo on there. And my friend Hattie drew this for me off of a picture I showed her that was in the cavalry riding manual, the U.S. Cavalry riding manual. And what it is it's all the different ways you measure a horse to pick out their conformation, and how all the different lines that need to square up and equal each other. And so I thought that was really cool. So it's got that on the back, the sweater does, and then on the sleeve here it says Horsemanship as an Art. And then if you'd rather a t-shirt, we got some t-shirts made, and they just say Horsemanship as an Art on the one sleeve and Know Better, Do Better on the other sleeve. And that's kind of the motto for the whole program, for me at least, is Know Better, Do Better. So what we're doing here is we're going to give 2 away to YouTube and 2 away to Patreon. A t-shirt or a sweater either. And for YouTube, it's going to be, the only fair way I can do it is the first 2 comments. You guys get to pick what you want. And then on Patreon, I guess we'll do the same thing. The very first 2 comments, we'll send you a sweater or a t-shirt, whatever you want. Happy Easter.